I'm on my grind, watch me level up. I use my mind, watch me level up. God on my side, watch me level up. Tune in right now to the level up. They say that knowledge is power. Growing my strength as I read every hour. If you knew what I knew, every villain would cow. Make the most of my 24 like I'm Jack Bauer. Ain't here for nothing, I'm meant to do something, no doubt. I ain't bluffing, God got me, I'm covered. I can't live abundant my life, yeah, I love it. Let's have a discussion to end all the suffering. Yeah, entrepreneur, that's that boss talk. Bigger leaders, we are all stars. Generational wealth is what I'm on. Faith, family, finances, that's all God. Oh Lord, told him that I'm making this. Oh boy, told him that I'm making rich. Learn from Dr. Bowen and Professor Lynn. Listen close, level up when you catch the shit. More money, that's a level up. Level up. More godly, that's a level up. More knowledge, that's a level up. More power, I just leveled up. More money, that's a level up. More godly, that's a level up. More knowledge, that's a level up. More power, I just leveled up. Level up, 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 level up. I'm on my grind, watch me level up. I use my mind, watch me level up. God on my side, watch me level up. Tune in right now to the level up.
All right, welcome back everybody to our wonderful youth entrepreneur camp. And our level up guest speaker for today is Mr. Vincent Owens. Dr. Jamal, you want to introduce?
Yes, so good morning everyone. It's good to see you all. Yes, we have another wonderful guest speaker, Mr. Vincent Owens. He is the CEO of Park Hill Financial District. He does teach on financial literacy. He's very heavily involved with the youth, with community. And we just wanted him to come here and just kind of speak on, the importance of business, the importance of giving back, and just being able to be that helping hand towards individuals and the community. And so I'm just so happy to have him this morning to kind of speak to you all and give you some jewels and drop some knowledge. And please be ready to ask questions once he's done. Mr. Vincent Owens, thank you again. The floor is yours.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me again. I like that intro song, Level Up.
Yeah.
That's hard. And, I just kind of want to give my background real quick, kind of talk on, how I got started and what I do exactly. I'm from Denver, the Northeast Denver Park Hill section. And I started off in audio engineering and music production. How I got started was I was teaching the kids how to make beats and how to engineer. And out of the necessity, they were unable to afford some of the equipment and the software. So I began showing them how they can make money through making t-shirts. We started making t-shirts and showing them how they can start a business and make a business out of it and make money. And then it kind of led to me teaching them a couple of wealth principles that I learned along the way. And a lot of the parents was like, well, I need to learn this too. So I kind of formulated something for the parents as well. And then the business kind of just took a life of its own. But, I always been an entrepreneur. Started off with a lawn service as a young man, cutting lawns, and learned the term of leverage early on to where I was able to leverage my resources in order to get more work done. So one thing I always teach is leverage, utilizing other people's efforts, other people's money, and other people's time and resources as well in order to build whatever business or whatever thing that you may be looking to do, and creating a system, having yourself a system to where you're able to save yourself time, energy, and money. That's what the acronym, the system, stands for. And just thinking about in your community where you can add value, looking at places where there's a need, and always looking at different problems to where you can offer a solution in a way and attach a value to that. One thing, if people don't pay you for something because the thing is worth the money, they only pay you when something is worth more than the money to the people, and then they'll continue to buy whatever you have for sale, as long as you're selling them more value And creating that value is important in all things you do. You want to be able to have a value proposition to where you're able to offer them more money. So a lot of people think that value is correlated to cost, and cost and value are two different things. So one thing to kind of figure that out is, understanding what people want, and when people come to you, it's usually because you thought about their problem longer and harder than they have thought about their problem themselves. And then you have a solution. When you come with a solution to that problem, people will pay you for that. So, and I tell people a lot of times, before we even met, I was thinking of your problem a lot longer than you thought about your problem, because I knew there was a group of people out there that had the same problem. So with me, the problem is credit. I know a lot of people have that problem, and I thought about that problem long and hard. And I thought about a solution to how I can solve that problem. So having a solution solely is not enough. You have to be able to create a message that makes people feel like you created that solution specifically for them. And that gives you the best chances of getting them the results that they desire. So when you're looking at any solution, as far as credit, I'm in a league where there's a lot of people that do credit. But we do financial wellness. We not only show people how to fix their credit, we show them how to create a financial plan in order to stay on top of their credit. That's just one part of it. And in that, we want to be able to make sure we teach people step by step, hold them hand by hand, and teach them how to learn. A lot of times people in the educational sector, they're not able to absorb a lot of the information because they don't know how to learn. And so you kind of play off the sources of how they like to learn, whether it's kinesthetically, visually, any of those ways. But those are some of the ways I like to impact the people, is reaching them. And so that's kind of just the basis on what I do, a basis of my story, and then I could go a little bit more into it. Dr. Jamal, I didn't know if you want me to go into more as far as.
Yeah, just go into everything that you do, from the events that you have, and kind of what made you start your business. I think that'll be a question, kind of just breaking down what was the purpose or why behind your business.
So, like I said, out of necessity, I seen there was a need and I fulfilled that need. Anytime there's a problem, people pay for the solutions. So I figured out there was a need as far as financial literacy in my community. And this is long before, it became a hot topic where everybody's talking about financial literacy. And the credit, I figured out the need, and then I followed up with a solution. So anywhere there's a need, that's where you can see there's opportunity. And out of necessity, being a young man and wanting to learn these certain things that I'm teaching now, I didn't have an outlet, I didn't have a way. So just kind of being the person I needed when I was young, and divulging the information that I wish I had at that age to be able to make an impact or to be able to grow my business. So out of a need, opportunity comes. And so far as, we turned that into what we do now. We do annual backpack giveaways. This will be our 5th year doing our annual backpack giveaway. But in these backpacks, we put in financial literacy information and access to our next workshops, to where we go deeper in depth about, savings and spending and leveraging credit and creating a budget to where you're able to build some wealth, teaching you the wealth building strategies and building a foundation to where, I know they're not teaching a lot of this information in the schools nowadays. So we just want to be able to give the youth the information that we wish we had when we were their age. to kind of give them an advantage. So when they get out into the marketplace, that they're able to be equipped with the right tools and be able to utilize these tools to grow generational wealth for their children in their future. And, you know, creating those things and showing different businesses too. That's also what we do is we do consulting for different businesses, showing how to make their business more fundable to obtain capital. And also, you know, just anywhere from a strategic standpoint, from administration, to show them how to structure their business, from, you know, LLCs to C Corps, to make sure that their business is in the best position to attract the most funding. And, you know, just having those different business models for people who are young entrepreneurs, showing them how they can turn things that they like to do into a business and make profit from that. That's important. You know, a lot of us had to just get out there and get into the job market straight out of college or working while in college. And, you know, a lot of times you don't do jobs that you like to do. So it becomes strenuous after a while. So just kind of finding a niche to where they can get paid for things they already currently doing and already like to do. So that's a little bit of background in some of those things that we do as well.
No, thank you. I know your background is in music or audio engineer. And then the last speakers we had last week, you know, they also came from HBCUs, and they kind of talked on the importance of those type of schools, and just touch on, you know, the music, what got you into music. Kind of, I think for some of our students, they may want to pursue music, and maybe you can give them some advice about that, but also the importance of an HBCU since you were a student there as well.
Nice. Okay, yeah, so music's always been my passion. It's always been something I love to do. And it's been a creative outlet for me to, you know, take some energy and put it out there. And as my shirts say, let the creators create. It was a motto that I created to always be able to be creative. We have creative outlets that a lot of youth don't know how to take that energy and transform it into something in creativity. And going to a HBCU, I went to Texas Southern University, and that experience changed my life as far as being able to see professors, students, staff, everybody who looks like me. That does something for your mindset to see something greater than just what you've been seeing. And the connections I made are lifelong connections. That's what I tell people. Some of those people you meet, you never know who they're gonna grow to be. You know, I got a couple of college buddies that are senators, and college buddies that are doctors, lawyers, and just that network of connections, that network to where I got friends in almost every city now, every state. Just from being at that college, you meet people from all different places. So networking and utilizing those relationships, because you, like I said, you never know who somebody's gonna grow into be. And you're like, man, I went to college with that partner. That was my college roommate, you know. So going to those colleges and seeing the culture of, you know, the Black Greeks, and seeing, you know, the bands, battle of the bands, and some of those things that introduce you to a whole new culture, to where, you know, it's inspiring to want to do more and be a part of certain things. But Texas Southern, I believe that's a great school just because of culture and the history. And there's a lot of alumni that went there and continue to breed greatness out of there. So I think that HBCU experience is second to none. I mean, you know, it's one of those experiences I tell everybody, at least go get a semester in there. Just, if you're gonna go, just get a semester in and transfer out. But once you see that experience, it's hard to leave.
Thank you. And a big thing that we've been teaching our entrepreneurs is really profit. Like we all know, you need money to create a business. You can't just hope and dream and then for it to appear. So kind of, can you give us some tips on just ways that they can possibly, raise money for their businesses or get the financial support they need for their businesses?
Yeah, again, one of the principles I teach is OPM, other people's money, utilizing other people's money. And if you have a good idea, one thing my dad always told me, he's like, you don't have a money problem, you have an ideal problem. Because if you don't know how to utilize your ideals and leverage that, people buy into good ideals every day. So being able to formulate that ideal and putting it on paper to where people can see, to where you can get angel investors or equity investors or, partners who will invest in you. And a lot of times it's just being able to paint the picture of the ideal so clearly that people can see the vision and they say, hey, man, I can see that. I know that can make some money, or I believe in you. Having people believe in you just because, your name is good, your track record is good, your work ethic is good. So I wouldn't say don't let money stop you, but have an ideal. That ideal is good as cash. Having that ideal, and you want to make sure you have some goals, and kind of drawing out the picture as best as possible. And the picture starts to fill out even more as you kind of put it on paper. You'll start to see things fill out a little bit more, and then partnering with the right people is good as cash as well. That's sweat equity of you doing the work already to where somebody can just say, oh, all you need is money, here you go. So I think that's important.
Thank you, Vio. Let's go ahead and go into the students. Let me have the students introduce themselves and kind of tell you their business, and then they can ask their questions. Let's go with Mira today.
Okay. Hello, my name is Amira. Can you hear me? Good.
You're kind of low, Amira.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to because from here, I'm just trying to speak up. If you could, yeah. Hello, my name is Amira, and I'm trying to start a business on basically homemade supplies, and I'm trying to build it up and start a small business to a point where I own probably just a small shop around the corner. And I don't really think I have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Amir. All right, Jalen.
Hi, my name is Jalen. I'm 15 years old. I attend Smoky Hill High School, and I want to start a jewelry business and kind of build it off to starting multiple different type of business, like clothing, clothing, skincare type stuff. And one of the questions I had was, when you went to college, did you major in finance or business?
Yeah, I majored in business marketing, and I utilized a lot of that in college. I used to throw parties. I utilized a lot of the marketing techniques that I kind of learned from there. Then also just learning as I did it, getting baptized in the fire through experience and learning a lot of different things. So, in college, a lot of people are just going to find themselves and figure out what they want to do. So in that, you kind of find what you want to do, unless you already know what you want to do as your business. And I like to tell people, just kind of understanding your market of what you're going into. So, there's 3 types of markets when you're dealing with business. You have the commodity market, and I tell people that's kind of the worst business market to be in, is the commodity market. A commodity market is something that has a utilitarian purpose, but has no emotional connection. So that's for example, paying your bills for the electricity. It doesn't have any emotion into it, so your competition usually specializes and sets the price. So you don't have a conversation with someone who's ready to buy until they're ready to buy, and you can't create any value in that. and your competition kind of sets the prices. As far as if their prices is lower, then they're going to go with the competition. But you know, the person only question is, how much is it? How much does it cost? And so when you're in the commodity market, and then you have the mass markets, that's something a lot of people buy, but the cost of goods sets the price. Your customer is going to go to someone other than you to research what it is. So like, for instance, a car, that's the mass market. Cars, people always go to people other than the dealers before they go to the dealer and ask them, well, I already did my research. And what I tell people, there's a market. A lot of people don't like to get in, but there is no competition in premium value market. In the premium value market, it has no competition, and you set the price. It's not based on the cost of goods, and people buy because the price is high. And all the value in the premium market is the perceived value. And what perceived value is what they perceive it to be. A part of the perceived value is the price you pay. So when you see, like, I give the example of Polo, they call Polo the loss leader. Polo is what it is because people aspire to have the Ralph Lauren purple label. The purple label is more expensive than the Polo. So everybody has the Polo because they aspire to have the Ralph Lauren purple label. And it's kind of the same with, the Mercedes Benz. People want the Mercedes because it, symbolizes, wealth or those things. But a lot of people drive the Mercedes because they aspire to have the Maybach. So if you're the best, nobody expects you to be the cheapest. And if you're cheapest, nobody believes you're the best, even if you are. So your price that you set is a part of your branding, and it tells people how valuable you are. And people who spend a lot of money on themselves do it because they believe they're worth it. So you got to ask yourself, what type of customers or what type of clients do you want to deal with? Do you want to deal with people who believe they're worth what you're charging, or do you want to deal with clients who feel like they can't afford it? And the price is determined by the payoff, and the payoff is not always monetarily. So that goes back to the value that I was talking about creating early on. And again, if we get an example, the people don't buy a Rolls Royce because they just want it. They believe they're worth it. They believe they're worth the Rolls Royce. So that's something to just think about. I know I said a lot. My bad, Jalen.
No, that's good. It's good.
It does. Thank you.
No, it's good. Thank you for that. I think what they need to know is just the reality of starting a business. I think, you necessarily, like myself, Professor Lynn, we had to take some road bumps or have some feelings hurt, when we were starting our businesses. And can you just explain kind of what you went through with starting your business and how you were able to overcome those situations?
This is one thing I'm gonna tell you guys, get used to hearing the word no. You want to build up tough skin, and the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. My dad always told me, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Next, keep going. And if you have a plan, don't let nothing take you away from that plan. And about the most thing I learned about entrepreneurship is never give up. That sets the true entrepreneurs aside from the wannabe-preneurs. A lot of people start off because they see it, they think it's easy, and there was a lot of entrepreneurs started up in the pandemic, and the money was flowing, and it was feeling good. But when adversity comes, that's the true testament to see, are you gonna keep going? Are you gonna be able to withstand? They say most businesses fail within their first 2 years. So to overcome that hump and keep going over that. And then they say after that, most businesses fail within their first 10 years. So, you know, the odds are against you as an entrepreneur, but if you have a good idea and then you have the will to do, you will do great things. So just overcoming those no's and know that any obstacle is an opportunity for you to become better. Obstacles are always opportunities. And for people who are good at seeing opportunities in those obstacles, those tend to be the people who, because they always come with a solution, and you could attach a price and a value to that solution. So if you find a problem that you have, chances are there's probably other people who are going to have that same problem. And if you solved it, you can attach a price to that and offer your solution to people for a small fee or a big fee.
Yeah, thank you, VO. All right. Any questions so far from any of the students?
I have
Please.
another question.
All right.
So pretty much, how did you like find your worth?
I found my worth from being in position. And when I say being in position is kind of following your calling. You're gonna find those things that you are just naturally good at. And that's kind of where you'll find your worth. As far as doing, there's already something inside of you that you're already good at, where you just feel natural at it, and people will pay you for that. So it's just kind of listening to where you know people say, hey, you're good at this, Jalen. Hey, you can make money from doing this. So it's just kind of being in position. And being in position is kind of being on your purpose. And when you're on your purpose, all things will follow that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you, VO. Any other questions? Make sure everyone gets a question.
I have another one.
Okay,
Go right ahead.
What would you say like is the hardest thing of like starting a business, your own business?
I think the hardest thing is the belief. Having the belief to know that you can do it and you can be successful. And I tell people, you know, all things start in the mind first. You know, it starts in the mind first, and then it manifests into the actual thing. So it's working on the mindset, preparing your mind to see yourself, have the end in mind already, to see what you look like as the successful business owner, to see what you look like as, you know, the successful entrepreneur. What does that look like? And then once you have that picture of what that looks like in your head, then you begin to start doing those things. You know, what would this person be doing? And then you want to start doing those things. You know, a successful entrepreneur has a calendar. You know, a successful entrepreneur, you know, you want to research those things and always be a student. So I think the hardest thing is the belief system that it takes in order to start a business, knowing that you can, knowing that you will be successful.
thank you. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
You got some good questions.
Thank you.
VO, can you speak a little bit on the importance of credit as a business owner? I mean, do you encourage business owners to establish credit with their own EIN or tax ID?
Yes, I believe credit is important. Again, that goes to the leverage principle that we teach, utilizing other people's efforts and other people's money. People don't realize how much credit can impact their business. So having a good personal credit is very important as well, to where you can utilize that and leverage into business credit. And you know, when you're thinking about business and you got expenses, overhead costs, and just regular cash flow things that your business may occur, it's better to utilize other people's money and put your money to work. So I don't know if you guys seen when Elon Musk did the deal with Twitter for about 90 billion. You know, he's a billionaire, but he's still borrowing money. And so that shows us that even the billionaires, they leverage other people's money and other people's resources in order to build their own, you know, and putting the money to work for you, making the money work for you. So that's a thing you could do with credit, is put the money to work. So if you utilize credit, you want to make sure that you're putting the money to work to where it's making you money. You don't want to just squander off credit and just blow it off, but utilize it to work for you.
Thank you, VO. I want to open it up for questions. Please ask questions. That's why these speakers are here. I know I keep reminding you all, but they're here donating their time to help you. So please ask questions. So VO, I'll ask until they're ready. So VO, I know we talk a lot about community. I think that's probably the key thing we talk about is community, and how our businesses has helped our community. And kind of, I know we talked about the need in the beginning. I started my business because, of course, there was a need, right? We were lacking something in our community. Professor Lynn and I grew up in Montbello. You grew up in Park Hill. So we all have similar needs that we needed, but also what we weren't taught. And so kind of what was the time you were fed up, like, dang, yeah, I'm tired of my community looking like this. I need to do something.
I mean, I think it's always kind of been in me to, you know, the community. I was one of the kids, just, you know, a neighborhood kid, grew up at the rec centers, grew up running around on bikes and just all around the community. So I know the importance of the community, the role that it plays in developing youth. So it's important to have these right visual pictures that the youth in the community could look at, because it sets the tone for how their life will be in the outcome that they can see themselves. If you can't see yourself bigger or see a picture of yourself bigger than your situation or where you're at, then it's hard for you to transcend bigger than your community. You know, your environment has a lot to do with your perception and how you think about yourself. So I wanted to be able to make an impact in the community so the youth are able to have a better vision and a better quality of thought and better picture of what they could be, of seeing successful business people from the community say, if they can do it, I can do it as well. So I think the community plays a big role in the youth's perception about themselves, and to where they'll be able to be a productive member of the community or society and what they have to offer. Even now as a youth, their input matters, you know, what they think and how they need to be helped is something that, you know, is important. You know, I think about as a youth, voicing what I need, you know, being able to advocate for myself as a youth. I wasn't able to do that. So now to be able to offer that to youth to where they can advocate for themselves as far as their need of what they like to do, you know, because a lot of these youth, they have a great input and a great outlook on what are the needs of the community. So by improving the quality of the community, you automatically improve the value that builds and repeats generations to come, a better place for people to be.
Yeah, thank you, VO. All right, let's open it up. Please ask questions.
Okay, so I have a question. What is your favorite thing about like being an entrepreneur?
My favorite thing about being an entrepreneur is having my time, to be in control of my time. And when I say that, you know, you have time freedom, but it comes with discipline. And I'd rather discipline myself than have somebody else discipline me. So I don't take it lightly, being disciplined, to be on schedule, to have a calendar, to make sure you have your tasks. But I like to have my time when I just like to, you know, read or do my research or study, and to be on a job, you know, you don't always get to do that. Or if I want to go work at the park, I could go work at the park, sit at the park. And if I want to be at the coffee shop, I could go work from the coffee shop. Or if I just want to be in the office, to be able to have that time freedom and the ability to be in control of my time, because your time is your most valuable resource. And, you know, being on the clock working for someone, you're not always able to maximize your time.
Okay, thank you. I have another one.
Go right ahead.
Hold on. I just kind of forgot. Hold up. Okay, I remember. Do you still like make music? And like, if you like do, like, what's your message that you like try to give out through your music?
Well, I'm not a artist as far as vocally. For the music production, I make music and I utilize it in film a lot of times. I'm a film director as well. I direct films, and usually I put a message in those films. But also in the music, I utilize frequencies to impact people, and the message is in the frequency. So there's a frequency, it's 432 hertz. They call that the love frequency, or the 528 hertz. That's the love frequency. And I utilize that inside of my music to understand that all things start from vibration, and vibration is a frequency that we're built off of. And to put those in the music, I just put out a message of good feeling, love. And that's what I put in my music, just because I know that we're bombarded by all these other low frequencies, and, you know, just to balance it out, to have a polar opposite of the frequencies that are offered. Those are good questions.
Yeah, thank you, VO. Anyone else want to ask? Anything?
Do you operate your business? What's your legal structure? Is it a nonprofit? Is it as well?
I'm for profit, and we're LLC S corp. But I just looked into, they have this new structure. It's called the PBC. And what they're doing is to where you could be a public benefit corporation. Are you familiar? To where that's probably what we're looking to change into, to where we can have some status as far as a nonprofit, but also operate as a corporation.
Is that similar to like a co-op?
It has a couple of the same aspects, but not completely.
Okay. Can you share with us like a story about a recent lesson you might have learned when, you know, going to business, like dealing with just a typical business day?
Oh, well, I'll tell about IP, intellectual property, and this is important. It's a lesson that, you know, I just kind of learned. You know, the importance, when I say IP, that's intellectual property, and understanding the importance of protecting your intellectual property. You know, I did a couple of business deals with the city of Denver, And to see that these people, you know, they'll ask you for a request for a proposal, and you put your ideals and your hard work into it, and then you start to see programs roll out like, hey, you know, that was my idea. And, you know, they'll try to act like they remixed it or call it something different, but you be like, I know this is my ideal. I spoke with this person and they're the head of this thing. So in order to protect yourself, now, before I diverge any information, you know, I have people sign a non-disclosure agreement with certain clauses as far as for intellectual property non-compete on certain levels. And the importance of that is, you know, we don't want to see your ideal, you know, we all get good ideals, but people, you know, they'll act like they're for you and really they're really to take from you. So protecting your ideals with, you know, non-disclosure agreements, intellectual property agreements, and, you know, those things, having those in place early on, either for even trademark and copyright for some of your slogans and your ideals. You know, you want to be able to protect your ideal, because people will, you know, there's sharks out here. People will try to take your ideals and act like as if they're their own. So just for your protection, having those things in play, or at least researching them and learning how to utilize them is important.
Wow, that's from the city. What would you have done differently? I mean,
you know, I would have had the city. I mean, you know, I put a clause in there, but, you know, there's certain things I probably would have kind of just held back, you know, until I had that here. So it's, you know, you live and you learn. You know, some of these lessons are expensive, but
for sure, for sure. Is there a particular tool you always recommend for business owners, like any kind of software or something that's just like a must have in your toolbox that you always recommend to others?
No, I don't want to give nobody no pub. Let's say, I mean, I think about their choice. What I tell a lot of new business owners is there's technology out here that can help you tremendously manage your business. And I will say, utilize this AI technology. There's a lot of different AI generators, especially for people your age, Jalen and Amir. You guys should utilize AI, artificial intelligence generators. It's they literally do anything. They got ones that write recipes to where it'll help you write a book. It'll help you come up with formulas. It'll solve math problems. It'll solve equations. So I utilize a lot of technology as far as there's a lot of different ones that you could use. Like I said, I don't want to give too many credit, but there's ones that, you know, that capture leads. It'll take their LinkedIn profile, organize it into Excel columns for you. So there's a lot of different AIs, and I'll just say that, you know, do your due diligence on different AI generators. You can literally type in on Google AI generator for this, AI generator for this, and you'll be surprised on the AI that they already have. And what I get people to get into now is learn how to machine learn, teach the machines, because there's a culturally bias already that's taking place with this AI. So it's culturally biased as far as our culture. You know, there's a bias. So, you know, by us being the programmers and learning how to educate these AI things, because the AI is formed after the brain. So don't let it become a crutch for you. but learn the technology and utilize it to where you can benefit from it and it works for you. But you know, us becoming educators and programmers of this AI technology, I think that's important for us moving forward.
Right on. Well, thank you, VO. Thank you for your time. If there's not any more questions, we'll definitely let you go because we know you're a very busy man, but we do appreciate you and appreciate everything you're doing in the community.
I have another question.
Okay, go ahead,
Okay.
Jay.
What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is a well thought out ideal that is actualized. So if you have an ideal and you actualize it, bring it into fruition. So, you know, I see myself making up my bed this morning. You know, that's a success. I had a picture of how my bed looked made up and I got up and did it. That's a success. And so, and it begins to scale as the bigger the ideals, the bigger the success. So the more you think about ideals and you're able to actualize it and bring it to fruition, that's success to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a good question, Jalen. Jalen, tell us, what is your definition of success?
My definition of success is like just striving, like doing your best, like not really trying to like uphold like the top, like the highest standard, but your standard and just trying hard. So yeah.
Good job. Amir, what is your definition of success?
So my definition of success would probably be to be included and like just like not like work for the rest of your life, but work until you like feel like enough is success.
Thank you. But all right, if there's any more questions, we'll let you go, VO. But thank you so much again, man. We do appreciate you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Yeah. You take care.
Thank you so much, VO.
I appreciate you.
And I'll share this the video with you once it's downloaded.
All right, appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Nice meeting you, ladies.
Bye. Thank you. Nice meeting you too.
Goodbye.